I hope you're ready to have some fun. We are going to find the volume of liquids today. So go ahead and grab all of your math supplies, grab some fun pens and pencils. You can do some drawings in your math journal if you'd like to today, and meet me back here, and we're going to jump into finding the volume of liquids. Last time we talked about how one of these cubes is 1 centimeter cubed. Well, we can also convert our cubic centimeters into milliliters. So 1 cubic centimeter actually equals 1 milliliter, which would be this little cube filled with liquid. There would be a milliliter of liquid. Now, it's also important to remember 1 liter equals how many milliliters? Great, 1,000. Which would also mean that if 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters, it'll also equal 1,000 cubic centimeters. So with this right here, I'm going to introduce us to a number story. Let's jump into our number story. So I have rectangular container A, and my rectangular container A measures 25 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 8 centimeters. And it's 4/5 filled with water. Now, container B is an empty cubical container of side 10 centimeters. So if water in container A is poured into container B to fill its brim, what is the height of water left in container A? So for example, if I took container A and I poured it in container B, then poured till it's filled to the brim. What now would be the height of water in container A? All right, I'm going to move my water containers here so we have space to draw this out. All right, here we go. If I redrew my container A, like so, and my container B is over here. Remember that my A measurements were 25 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 8 centimeters. And my container B says that it is an empty cubical container of side 10. So if it's cubical, meaning a cube, that means that there's 10 centimeters as its width, or length, 10 as a width, and 10 as height. Right? They're all equal when it's a cube. Now, I am taking what I have here, which is 4/5 filled with water. This is what I had. So in other words, this is kind of filled with water. 4/5 of it was filled with water here. Just like that, kind of. Can you imagine 4/5 filled with water? I hope so. Now we're wanting to find the volume of the water. So we'd first find the volume of the full rectangular prism. So I would do my length times width times height to find the full volume. So I would take my 25 times my 10 times my 8, right? What do you get when you multiply all of these together? Or before multiplying them, you can also think, but the water is only 4/5 of the volume of the entire container, so I would just want 4/5 of this. I can put my fraction here, or I can add it at the end, but I want all of this, which is the full volume, but only 4/5 of it. So I need to multiply it by 4/5 to just get the volume of the water. Now I want you to pause the video and I want you to work out this entire expression right here. Okay, 4/5 times 25 times 10 times 8. And there are so many different ways you can move these numbers around to maybe make it easier for you. Now hopefully you already have an answer, but when you did that, did you get 1,600? And we're talking centimeters cubed, aren't we? Excellent. So we know the volume of the water now. So now we got to pour it into here. It's going to be filled to the brim. So we need to know the full volume of this cube. So to find that, we would do our 10 times 10 times 10. Whew, this is a little bit easier than this one, isn't it? So 10 times 10 times 10 is going to give us 1,000. Okay, so this full cube is going to be this 1,600 centimeters cubed, or milliliters, right? We're talking about liquid here. It's going to be poured into this, but this can only hold how many milliliters? Just 1,000. So I'm going to take my 1,600 and I'm going to subtract the 1,000, right? I poured in the 1,000. How much do I have left? I have 600 milliliters left. So with 600 milliliters, I can begin, or 600 centimeters cubed, I can go back up to my container A and I can at first at least find my base. So my base is 25 times 10, isn't it? What is 25 times 10? 250. So my base is 250 centimeters squared. So I know that that is how much we'll take up as far as the base goes, but I need to know how high, right? My final question is, what is the height of water left in container A? And I forgot the answer statement. So the height of container A is, for centimeters, right? So if I know I have 600 in all, and I've already discovered that my base is 250, I would take my 600 and divide it by my 250 to figure out my height. So what did you get when you took 600 and divided it by 250? Did you get 2 4/10 centimeters? That's exactly what I got. So our final answer is the height of container A, the liquid, height of the liquid in container A is 2 4/10 centimeters after I poured all that I could into container B. All right, let's play with one more today. All right, let's do this one now. So I have an empty rectangular tank and it's 60 centimeters long, 40 centimeters wide. It is being filled with water flowing from a tap at a rate of 10 liters per minute. If it takes 15 minutes to fill the tank to its brim, what is the height of the tank? So in other words, if we were to imagine this is my tank and water is flowing into it from a tap at a rate of 10 liters per minute. We want to find out after 15 minutes what is going to be the height of the water. All right, let me move this so we can work through this problem. So I redrew my tank here, and we're going to imagine all this water is being poured in and filling up the bottom of my tank. So what we do know is our rectangular tank is 60 centimeters long. So I'm going to write 60 centimeters for this right here. And it's 40 centimeters wide. So right here we have 40 centimeters. And we do want to know the height, right? So what is the height of the tank? And this is what we're trying to figure out, and is our answer statement, the height of the tank is. So here is our question mark. So we know that there are 10 liters per minute, right? And it is being filled for 15 minutes. So if I were to multiply that by 15, can I find the total number of liters that will be filled after 15 minutes? Yeah, 10 times 15 is 150 liters. So that's important to know, right? The full volume. And we also know 150 liters equals how many milliliters? We're going to need to convert this to milliliters because we're working with centimeters down here. Remember that 1 centimeter cubed equals 1 milliliter. So we need to convert our 150 liters into milliliters. How would we do that? Great, we would multiply it by 1,000, right? For every 1 liter, there's 1,000 milliliters. So if there's 150 liters, it's going to be 150,000 milliliters. All right, so we're going to be working with this number right here. So to fill the tank, the full volume is 150,000 milliliters. Can we discover how high it is? Certainly, we can first find our base, right, or our length times our width, because we do know that our volume is going to equal length times width times height. We have our full volume right here, our 150,000. And that's going to equal our length of 60 times our width of 40 times our height, which really is our question mark. So we can then think 150,000 equals, what's 60 times 40? You got it, 2,400 times its height, which is still our question mark. So we know to find this, we can take 150,000 and divide it by 2,400. Now before we try to work out this division problem, what else can we do to simplify this for ourselves? Yeah, we can actually divide each side by 100, can't we? If I divided each side by 100, this is what I'd end up with. Now I only have 1,500 divided by 24. That feels easier. Let's work through that. Did you get 62 and 5/10? Hopefully you did. That's what I got. So in order to fill this tank to the brim, the height of the tank must be, I'm going to erase this since it's moving into my answer there, 62 and 5/10 what? We're just looking for a height, so it must be just centimeters. And again, remember that our milliliters also did equal our centimeters cubed. Wow, those were 2 really big problems today. So keep practicing. I promise they'll get easier and easier as you do sometimes some conversions as we play with volume of liquid. Have a great day, and I'll see you here next time. Bye-bye.